And this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, covering some of the area's latest news, including a violent domestic incident in Fairfield this morning that ended in police gunfire. We're following that story and more. Rob Adams has the forecast and later on a local sports update, and Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, on to today's news. A Fairfield man has died after being shot by an officer during what police call a violent domestic assault Tuesday morning at a house on Mountain Laurel Road. Police did not release the name of the man. Officers responded to the house around 6 Tuesday morning and were confronted by the man, according to police. He was shot and later died of his injuries. The man's wife and 3 children, ages 12, 13, and 15, were all injured, police said. The children were taken to area hospitals, suffering blunt trauma injuries and stab wounds. The wife was also taken to the hospital. Fairfield police said there is no threat to the public and the scene is secure. The incident is being investigated by the Connecticut State Police Major Crimes Unit and the Stamford-based State's Attorney's Office, which Fairfield police said was protocol. We'll continue to follow that story. Additional information will be released as it becomes available. And in other news today, state police are still investigating 3 separate accidents that closed a northbound exit ramp on Route 25 in Trumbull Tuesday morning. According to a state police dispatcher from Troop G, the accidents led to a total of 12 cars that crashed into one another on the ramp of the Merritt Parkway southbound near White Plains Road. Trumbull police have not released information about the incident, and Trumbull fire crews did not respond to the scene. The vehicle damage was also not immediately available. The dispatcher said a press release wouldn't be available until much later, as state police were dealing with several other accidents this morning. Trumbull Police Lieutenant Leonard Cinto said that only 1 car was dispatched to assist state troopers with traffic. For updates on that story, check TrumbullTimes.com. An 87-year-old Darien resident contacted police after falling victim to an apparent phone scam. The man received a call on the morning of February 7th claiming he had won $2.5 million. The caller, identifying himself as Dean White, said the man would need to wire transfer $110 to receive the prize. Following the caller's instructions, the man completed a Walmart-to-Walmart transfer for the stated amount. Police later confirmed that the transfer had been received by a Charles Broughton in Texas. When the Darien resident called his daughter to tell her he'd won the lump sum, she grew concerned and recommended that he contact the police. According to police, the man had been so excited to hear he had won, he forgot to ask how he earned the prize. A police officer later dialed the number of the suspected scammer in an effort to gain more information. Rather than identifying himself as a police officer, he instead told the man he was attempting to help the victim claim his prize. The man on the other end of the phone said that the prize was being delivered through Winners National in partnership with the Nebraska Lottery. A business address was provided, but later proved to be false. Upon further questioning, the man became argumentative and attempted to disconnect the call, prompting the officer to reveal himself. The man allegedly told police that the $110 was for shipping and handling on the $2.5 million reward and a C-Class Mercedes. Furthermore, he said he was a Christian man who would not take advantage of anyone before hanging up. Reports from the Better Business Bureau show numerous fraud complaints about Winners National. And in other news this morning, Lena Lucarelli, co-founder of the world-famous Roseland Pizza, passed away on Saturday, February 13th at the age of 92. According to those in the community, Lucarella was an icon of Derby, having served generations and thousands of hungry customers at the venerable Hawthorne Avenue restaurant. Her impact on the community will long be remembered by the high quality of pizza and dinners served and the tradition of excellence for which Roseland is known. Derby Mayor Anita D'Agato expressed her sympathy to the Lucarelli and Scalatolini family on the loss of their matriarch. Mayor D'Agato commented that, quote, "Everyone knows that the best pizza in the world is made right here in Derby at Roseland." She said Lena's leadership as owner, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and friend made her one of the most respected role models for women throughout the state. She will be missed by all who knew her. And you might have heard last week about the Anthem of the Seas cruise ship that was battered by a storm, cutting the vacation short for the passengers. Well, 2 Stratford residents were aboard and spoke to Stratford Star editor Melvin Mason recently. Rick Marcone, who is Stratford's Democratic Registrar of Voters, and his wife, Janice Pust Marcone, talked about the terrifying experience. 3 days after enduring a wild ride in rough seas, Fired up by the 125-mile-per-hour winds, the battered Royal Caribbean ship and its 6,000 people aboard docked in Bayonne, New Jersey. Royal Caribbean, facing scrutiny after the ship sailed into a storm in the Atlantic, apologized to passengers in a statement sent shortly before the ship docked, saying, "We have to do better." For roughly 12 hours, passengers of the Anthem of the Seas had hunkered down in their rooms Sunday as the captain of the cruise ship battled rough seas off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. But check out what the Marcones had to say about the experience in this interview with Melvin Mason.
So when the ship was staying like, because we were used to it kind of rolling back and forth, when the ship was staying like that for a while, it seemed like a long time. It was probably 30 seconds, 40 seconds.
It was longer than what it had been. It had been pitching and rolling, for hours. But we took this one real pitch to the starboard, to the right side. We were on the right side of the ship, and so we were like down looking at the waves, and it gave you a feeling that it wasn't coming back up.
Okay.
We were over long enough that I was like, oh my God, is it going to come back?
So that was probably the one scariest moment at that point in time.
And that was at what time?
That was late. That was probably after midnight. Yeah, around midnight.
Midnight Sunday going into Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
That brought on, my first was, visualization was the movie Poseidon and where we going over.
Oh wow, jeez.
Yeah,
so your level of concern right there. I think you told me earlier that you were really.
That was the max.
That was the max.
Right there. That was the max.
I said a little prayer. I was, but throughout the night you could hear things above us tumbling around.
Crashing things up on the deck. Some people were very frightened, and one lady said that this was a terrible cruise and she'd never cruise again. Other people said, you know what, it was terrible, but we got through it. I think the captain did a magnanimous job.
I had nothing but praise for the crew of the Anthem. I thought they did a terrific job. They kept us as informed, I think, as we needed to be. They watched out for our safety. They accommodated us as best they possibly could.
They opened up the internet to everybody on Monday.
Thanks again to Stratford Star editor Melvin Mason for that video interview with the Marcones. But it's time now to throw it over to Rob Adams for a look at the forecast. Rob?
All right, Kate, good morning. We've got a rainy day, most of it coming afternoon, and the rain can be heavy at times. Areas of fog after 1 this afternoon. And think about this. Now, it was just the other morning we were at 7 below, depending on where you were. Yesterday morning, we were still starting the day around 7 above. 54 is the high for today. Think about that when you're reaching for, whatever product to get over the illness you're now going to have. A breezy day with a southwest wind from 13 to 22 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is near 100%. It always does things to my system. What can I tell you? Tonight, a chance of rain before midnight. A cloudy night rather, then becoming partly cloudy with a low around 31. The wind might hit 13 out of the northwest. Mostly sunny for Wednesday and a high near 42. Wind chills, though, between 25 and 35. For Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low 25. Wind chills between 20 and 25. The Thursday, sunny, high 35. 37 and increasing clouds for Friday. Chance of rain and snow after 9 Friday night. No numbers given yet. In fact, the temperature's staying really too warm to do too much damage. 32 Friday night. That could cause us some headaches. But Saturday, we're going to hit 47 degrees. So my fingers would be crossed. That's not going to be too bad. 45 is your high for Sunday. Ridgefield, you have 52. Do not break out those bathing suits the way you might be tempted to. In Monroe, I know you're reaching for the shorts. It's 52 there also. A little chillier here in Shelton. The short sleeve shirts stay put away. It's 51 degrees, Kate. Except for AJ Simonowski, of course.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Donald Dane takes a look back on this day in history. Rob has the latest sports, and we have more news coming up on your coffee break after this.
Had a sports injury that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist quickly. Their highly trained orthopedic professionals expertly treat you without an appointment. Skiing, snowboard, or sports accident, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk. Call 203-845-2070 or coastalorthoexpress.com. Find them on Facebook at Coastal Ortho CT.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure every Thursday at 2 on the HAN Network.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday, right here on the HAN Network.
And we're back on this Tuesday, February 16th edition of your coffee break on the HAN Network. It's time to throw it to Donald Eng, who's going to take a look back on this day in history. Check it out.
Join the Navy and see the world. Maybe not, or at least not very much of it. But first we go to 1874. The silver dollar becomes legal U.S. tender, though dollar coins have never really caught on, and also the world's worst secret door knock is based on one. The Spanish dollar, which was legal tender from 1792 up until the adoption of the silver dollar, had been known as pieces of 8, because it could be broken into 8 pieces, each known as bits, and being worth 1/8 of a dollar. If you had 2 of them, you could get a shave and a haircut. To 1923, Howard Carter unseals the burial chamber of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. The discovery of the nearly intact tomb sparks a rebirth of interest in ancient Egypt. The pharaoh's legendary curse came from an assistant of Carter's who had been bitten on the left cheek by a mosquito. A few days later, he accidentally sliced the bite while shaving, and he died of the subsequent infection. When Tutankhamun's body was autopsied, it revealed a lesion on the left cheek. To 1968, Haleyville, Alabama, the first 911 emergency telephone system goes into service. AT&T chose the number 911 because it was simple, easy to remember, easily dialed, and it worked well on the phone system currently in place. The number itself, however, did not become widely known until the 1970s, and many municipalities, most notably Chicago, did not have 911 service well into the 1980s. And finally, now we go to 1960, New London, Connecticut, for this.
Noon, Wednesday, February 17, our second day out. Now it was time to notify the crew.
Update.
All right, Kate, good morning, everyone. We'll start in girls hockey, where the New Canaan Rams shut out the Greenwich Cardinals 2-0 at the Dorothy Hamill Rink yesterday afternoon. That, of course, in the Byram section of Greenwich. The win was the 16th on the season for the Cardinals, or rather for the Rams, excuse me. and it was the 300th in the career of New Canaan head coach Rich Buellin at New Canaan. He does have 435 wins overall. As for the game itself, Catherine Granito and Jess Eccleston scored the goals. Amanda Hill made 11 saves for the shutout. At Hamden yesterday, Georgia Cassidy scored twice to give her 200 points for her high school career as Darien topped the Green Dragons 3-2. The senior has 38 goals and 57 points on the season, which is a Darien record. Over to boys hockey now. Mateo Van Wees scored the game winner in overtime as Ridgefield topped Notre Dame of West Haven 3-2. The win improved the Tigers' record to 8-7-1 on the year. In other boys hockey action, the Fairfield Co-op beat Cheshire 1-0 and Norwalk McMahon topped Housatonic Wamogo, that co-op, 7-5, as we get a look at some of the scores now from yesterday. And there is that Ridgefield Notre Dame of West Haven score again, 3-2 in overtime. Mateo Van Wees with the game winner. And we told you about the other games. Darien and Hamden in girls hockey, that 3-2 win. Cassidy with 2 goals, and Rich Buellin his 300th win as New Canaan head coach. We move now over to boys basketball, where Trumbull topped McMahon 67-57, and it was Staples holding off Wilton 73-65. Cole Prowett-Smith scored 15 as Ludlow beat Greenwich 64-55, and New Canaan over Central 80-34. Now we move over to girls basketball, and Abby Wolf rang the bell for 24 points. Greenwich beat Ludlow 57-41, and Wilton clinched an FCAC playoff spot with a 40-30 win over the Staples Wreckers. Karen Brosco had 9 points to lead the way for the Warriors. Trumbull beat McMahon 57-19 in that game. Claudia Tucci had 19 points for the Eagles. On the schedule today, it's Norwalk at West Hill and boys basketball at 7. St. Joseph home for Fairfield Ward. Trinity Catholic at Darien, and Central is at Kennedy. All of those 7 o'clock starts. Girls basketball, West Hill and Norwalk in a matinee at 3. Darien and Trinity Catholic at 5:45 in Stamford. And St. Joseph visits Ward tonight at 7. Then one girls hockey game of note, Ridgefield and Hall Connard at the Veterans Memorial Rink. That's a makeup from yesterday. They will drop the puck at 8 o'clock tonight. As for us, we're back to business tomorrow with a game that was scheduled for yesterday, now moved to tomorrow at 4 at the Darien Ice Rink. We will see. Really a big game in the FCAC, but the Greenwich Cardinals have to hold up their end of the bargain. Darien continues to be the top team in the conference. The Cardinals would like to answer that. We will see Darien and Greenwich tomorrow at 4 right here on the HAN Network. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock later today. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, getting back to a little more news today. Paul Averginos, a Reading-based composer who runs Studio Unicorn on Sanford Town Road, won the Grammy last night for Best New Age Album. He won for his album Grace, which was released last year. This is the first Grammy for Averginos, who was featured in the Reading pilot back in December. In addition to producing albums of meditative and spiritually inspired music, many of his single tracks have been in feature films and on broadcast television. You can get more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. National and statewide average gas prices continue to do the limbo as they drop to lows we haven't experienced since late January 2009. On Monday, the national price of a gallon of gasoline averages $1.70, 4 cents lower than last week, 23 cents lower than last month, and 55 cents lower than last year. In Connecticut, gas prices continue bending backwards to 2009. Monday's average price of $1.91 is also 4 cents lower compared to last week, 27 cents lower compared to the week before that, and 43 cents lower compared to last year. AAA's weekly survey of prices in the Nutmeg state's 4 regional areas include Greater Bridgeport-Stanford area at $2.03, New Haven and Meriden at $1.89, New London and Norwich at $1.88, Greater Hartford at $1.87. Only 5 states, Hawaii, California, Alaska, Nevada, and Washington state, register average gas prices above the $2 mark. Oklahoma and Missouri continue to hold the lowest averages with $1.37 and $1.40. Connecticut holds 10th place as the highest average prices in the nation. Well, according to the New Canaan Advertiser, the $500,000 fundraiser that New Canaan High School Athletic Director Jay Egan presented to the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance this week so that private contributions will pay for replacement synthetic field surface at Dunning Field and not tax dollars is a small part of the larger overall vision of improvements to the New Canaan High School sports stadium. The athletic director presented the present needs to raise money for the turf replacement, but also mentioned that plans are being drawn up for expanding the home side bleachers, expanding the press box, building a new concession, building with restrooms, along with some other smaller improvements. For the current turf replacement project, Egan said he is sticking with the original promise made when Dunning Field was built in 1997, that the field would remain at zero cost to taxpayers. For the larger scale plan also, Egan said private financing would be the route he'll take. Regarding the project now at hand, Egan has cost estimates ranging from $385,000 to $515,000 for a state-of-the-art surface, which he said will be the right amount to cushion and help prevent injuries such as concussions, and at the same time not be so soft that it could lead to other types of injuries. Both town boards voted unanimously to give Egan and the Ram Spirit Fund the go-ahead to solicit private funds for the turf replacement. And in Ridgefield, aggressive steps to address parking difficulties in Ridgefield's Central Business District, like building a parking garage or putting in parking meters, might diminish positive public perception of the town's charm and character. That, according to a survey conducted for the town in the Chamber of Commerce. International Insights, a marketing research and consulting firm that did a survey, said it is our opinion that the town's character, perhaps defined by the less restrictive parking regulations, is more important to maintain than to take dramatic measures to fix parking issues. A new parking structure is not an option they would recommend to be pursued. In fact, they believe it would detract from the character and make the town less attractive to potential residents and patrons. But you can get a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today. We'll get one more look at the forecast from Rob coming up on your coffee break after this.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthegame.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of Your Coffee Break. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. A Fairfield man has died after being shot by an officer during what police call a violent domestic assault this morning at a house on Mountain Laurel Road. Police did not release the name of the man. Officers responded to the house around 6 Tuesday morning and were confronted by the man. He was shot and later died of his injuries. The man's wife and 3 children, ages 12, 13, and 15, were all injured, police said. The children were taken to area hospitals, suffering blunt trauma injuries and stab wounds. The wife was also taken to the hospital. Fairfield police said there is no threat to the public and the scene is secure. The incident is being investigated by the Connecticut State Police Major Crimes Unit and the Stamford-based State's Attorney's Office, which Fairfield police said was protocol. Additional information will be released as it becomes available, according to police. And in Trumbull, state police are investigating 3 separate accidents that closed a northbound exit ramp on Route 25 in Trumbull this morning. According to a state police dispatcher from Troop G, the accidents led to a total of 12 cars that crashed into one another on the ramp of the Merritt Parkway southbound near White Plains Road. Trumbull police have not released information about the incident, and Trumbull fire crews did not respond to the scene. The dispatcher said a press release with more information wouldn't be available until much later, as state police were dealing with several other accidents this morning. Police Lieutenant Leonard Cinto said that only 1 car was dispatched to assist the state troopers with traffic, but you can get more information and updates at TrumbullTimes.com. An 87-year-old Darien resident contacted police after falling victim to an apparent phone scam. The man received a call on the morning of February 7th claiming that he had won $2.5 million. The caller, identifying himself as Dean White, said the man would need to wire transfer $110 to receive his prize. Following the caller's instructions, the man completed a Walmart-to-Walmart transfer for the stated amount. Police later confirmed that the transfer had been received by a Charlotte Broughton in Texas. When the Darien resident called his daughter to tell her he'd won the money, she grew concerned and recommended he contact police. According to police, the man had been so excited to hear he had won, he forgot to ask how he had earned the prize. A police officer later dialed the number of the suspected scammer in an effort to get more information. Rather than identifying himself as a police officer, he instead told the man he was attempting to help the victim claim his prize. The man on the other end of the phone said that the prize was being delivered through Winners National in partnership with the Nebraska Lottery. A business address that was provided proved later to be false. Upon further questioning, police said the man became argumentative and attempted to disconnect the call, prompting the officer to reveal himself. The man allegedly told police that the $110 was for shipping and handling on the $2.5 million reward and a C-Class Mercedes. Furthermore, he told police he was, quote, a Christian man who would not take advantage of anyone, before he hung up. Reports from the Better Business Bureau show numerous fraud complaints about Winners National. And in some other news this morning, Lena Lucarelli, co-founder of the world-famous Rosalanda Pizza, passed away on Saturday, February 13th at the age of 92. According to those in the community, Lucarelli was an icon of Derby, having served generations and thousands of hungry customers at the venerable Hawthorne Avenue restaurant. Her impact on the community will long be remembered by the high quality of pizza and dinners served and the tradition of excellence. Derby Mayor Anita D'Agato expressed her sympathy to the Lucarelli and Scatolini family on the loss of their matriarch. Mayor D'Agato said that everyone knows that the best pizza in the world is made right here in Derby at Roseland. Lena's leadership as owner, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and friend made her one of the most respected role models for women throughout the state. D'Agato said she will be missed by all who knew her. And in other restaurant news, in New Canaan, Boulevard 18 Bistro and Wine Bar has closed, according to the New Canaan Advertiser. The windows of the white standalone building at 62 Main Street, just to the right of New Canaan Fire Department, are papered over. And the website says that Chef David Raymar wishes to thank all his loyal patrons in New Canaan and invites them to participate in the renaissance of his legendary Italian restaurant in South Norwalk, Strata 18. Boulevard 18 was open for 3 3/4 years. Raymar was on vacation and not available for comment. Across the street from Boulevard 18, Tali Restaurant closed in November after 16 years, and Barolo Trattoria closed a couple of months ago after 1.5 years on Main Street. Tali will be opening a new Indian restaurant in the building that housed Boulevard 18th in a month or two, according to employees of sister restaurants Tali Ridgefield and Tali New Haven. But we're going to throw it back to Rob Adams for one more look at the forecast. Rob?
All right, Kate, we've got a rainy day, heavy at times, areas of fog after 1 and a high near 54, a breezy day with a southwest wind from 13 to 22 miles per hour, and the chance of rain is 100%. Tonight, a chance of rain before midnight, cloudy, gradually becoming partly cloudy, low 31. To Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 42. Wind chill values between 25 and 35. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low 25. Wind chill values dip down to 20 to 25. Now to Thursday, sunny, high 35. 19 is the low for Thursday night under clear skies and increasing clouds, a high 37 for Friday. The weekend, not too bad. 45 for Sunday, 47 for Saturday, 44 for Monday, but a chance of precipitation each day. So kind of take what you can get. And oh, by the way, pitchers and catchers report on Thursday, so just a sign of spring on the way. Temperatures, Easton is 51. Milford, you have 50. We're down a little bit. Right here in Shelton, we've also dropped a degree as well. 50 degrees. I'll see you for Nutmeg at 2, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. That's going to do it for your coffee break, but coming up at 12:30, The Drive with Denise. She has a great guest who's going to be talking about helping to support families who are dealing with childhood cancer, so definitely check that 12:30. But we'll be back tomorrow at 11. Have a great day.